polygon není nejrychlejší, tak marker, který jsme viděli, že umí strašně moc věcí, to je dané tím, jako, to ne, že by byly věci dobré a špatné, ale je třeba jakoby rozumět, jak se chovají. Tak ten marker je podobný. Vlastně skládá se asi z 5 imidžů různých, které mají různou podobu a stín za sebou a v okamžiku, kdy to tahám, tak je tam vlastně jiný image. Jo, takže jako je to poměrně heavyweight objekt. A zase my třeba těch markerů na té mapě nepotřebujeme tolik většinou, když jsou to nějaké výsledky hledání, tak je to třeba pár nějakých desítek. Tak je to v pohodě, ale v okamžiku, jakmile to začne jít do více stovek nebo nějakých tisíců, tak prostě je potřeba jiné řešení. To jiné řešení my jsme zatím nepotřebovali, ale taky jsme se dívali, co by bylo, kdyby bylo. A existují řešení, které se jmenují clustering a vlastně pro různé zoom levely té mapy si zobrazují jakoby vlastní markery, které jsou zase jakoby s hlukem několika bodů a spíš ukazují jenom třeba počty, co se pod tím skrývá. Takže třeba velice zajímavý web, který se jmenuje 360 měst, a jsou to panoramatické fotky, úplně úžasné. A myslím, že i tady v Čechách ten borec se nějak vyskytuje a prezentuje to. Tak mají, jestli se nepletu, že tenhle ten link, jakoby hrozně pěkně vyřešený právě ten clustering. Takže spočívá to v tom, že když vidím svět, tak tady vidím jakoby nějaké markery jenom s něčím. A když zazoomuju, tady na Českou republiku, tak naskakují jakoby jednotlivé ty podíky, které představují vždycky jenom nějaký zhluk. A pod tím se skrývají jakoby nějaký počet, takže se tady nevypíše 13 markerů, ale jenom jeden s 13. A když zazoomuju jakoby víc, tak se mi zase zobrazí další úroveň detailu. No a to jsou zase knihovny, které vlastně s tím clusteringem umí pracovat. Já jim pošlu nějakou jakoby množinu bodů a oni mi pro nějaký výřez mapy a ten zoom level, který potřebuju, vlastně řeknou, které body sloučit prostě pro jednoduchost do nějaké skupinky a pak už jenom to zobrazí na mapě. Ale zase jako spíš jde prostě o to, že když se narazí na rychlost, tak je potřeba se podívat na nějaké řešení. Jedno z řešení je třeba tady market cluster, prostě nějaká open sourceová knihovna, javascriptová, anebo jsou věci, které se jmenuje Maptimize, je třeba hostovaný řešení, který se něco pošle a on vrátí vlastně nějaký výsledek, který pak na té mapě zobrazí. Tak, co se týká resursů nebo nějakých dalších článků a tak dále, je toho strašlivá spousta. A kromě API, tady vlastně odkaz na API, tak jsem vypíchl 2 další, které jsou fakt dobré. A jedno z toho je video z Google.io, vlastně loňského, takže asi necelý, možná zhruba rok staré video. A to kromě toho, že má spoustu typů jakoby na performance záležitosti, z níž některé tady zazněly, je asi hodinu dlouhé, tak další význačnou jakoby věcí je, že ta dívčina z Google, co to prezentuje, vypadá jako Hana z Reflexu, takže to fakt jako stojí za to, jakoby je to docela...
Just curious, how many of you were in the earlier talk? Grab it. Sweet.
Je to docela persona, myslím si, že to stojí jako za zhlédnutí. A další věc, co se týká, co Google má kolem JavaScriptu, tak já jsem ukazoval, že JS Pin existují třeba příkladky kolem map, které se taky dají editovat, myslím, že to nedá jakoby uložit, jmenuje se to Google Code Playground, tak je to taky jakoby další alternativa, jak si nějaké věci vyzkoušet a naučit se je. Takže to je asi z té části první všechno. Co se týká části jakoby ukázky aplikace, tak protože když se dívám na hodinky, tak jako čas docela pokročil, tak možná bych spíš jakoby než aplikaci měl jakoby takový návrh. Já tady dám Tomášovi, nebo možná takovou prosbu. Nebudu vás tady zatěžovat tím, co v aplikaci máme nebo nemáme. Když budete mít zájem, tak si můžete proklikat. Můžeme rozdat vizitky, co máme vlastně odkaz na náš web, protože co děláme, tak je, že sbíráme reference na řemeslníky, což možná vy jako, jestli jste zkušenost měli, tak budeme rádi, když třeba zadáte nějakou referenci na někoho, nebo třeba rodiče, nebo kamarádi, nebo známí. A jako takový díl vás tady nebudu trápit, že vám budu ukazovat, jak to funguje, určitě to pochopíte sami. Myslím, že jsme to udělali celé jakoby pěkně. A spíš bych věnoval ještě těch posledních 15 minut tomu, že se podíváme na nějaká ty videa, která si myslím, že fakt jako jsou strašně moc inspirativní. Takže byl extra zájem, samozřejmě můžeme třeba po skončení projít nějaké věci, co jsme jak použili. Vybral jsem teda 3. První je knížka, existuje to i v audiobook formě, takže se to dá poslechnout prostě na iPodu nebo něčem podobném. What would Google do? Od Jeffa Jarvise. A vypíchnuté 2 ukázky, které jsou, myslím, strašně moc zajímavé, protože jednak mluví o tom, jako jaký je rozdíl, základní rozdíl mezi Google a Yahoo z hlediska přístupu a z hlediska otevřenosti a z hlediska toho ekosystému. Takže je to jakoby asi 2 ukázky zhruba 3minutové. 5, 10, 7.
Learning a new relationship with its public. The most important lesson, I think, for others in other industries, and again, the effort here is to find ways to explain changes to other people. So I'd be curious to hear how you explain these changes. But is the idea of being a network and a platform. Every company, that, especially in media where I work, exists by being centralized and owning things and controlling them, and controlling the scarcity of things, and benefiting from there. The idea of Google, of course, is that you create a platform that enables others to succeed. And that is fundamentally different from how a newspaper thinks, or how a car company thinks, or how others think. So, and I think allied to a platform is just to create networks. And the future, I think, for newspapers is going to be creating networks of people who create news together. The other idea that's very hard for me to understand is the notion of being distributed. And the view is that everyone came to us. You came to the newsstand, you bought the paper, and you came to our brand. Well, that's not how Google thinks. And I say in the book that Yahoo is the last old media company. It was built on the old media model. Any former Yahoo people here? Okay. It was built on the old media model of controlling content, of advertising to bring people in, Yahoo, and then giving you ads until you left, right? Whereas Google, as you all know, thinks distributed. And I always point to my little humble blog, buzzmachine.com, where I have Google videos and YouTube and Google Docs and Google Maps and Google Search, and of course, God bless you, AdSense, from which I made a big $4 grand year before last. It was a good year, actually, for AdSense. So that too is a notion that people in other industries just don't think like. So if you think about the nature of the brand change. Now people know better that you don't own everything, but you might as well. One of the other fundamental changes, I think, is the idea of publicness. And one of these lessons comes best to me from Flickr, when Katerina and Stuart defaulted to public on the photos, which was counterintuitive to do. The assumption of every other photo service had been to default to private. It's my stuff. The default to public, as you all know, made magic happen. The same magic that happens on the internet itself. When we all share our knowledge in big ways, I think it's almost a new societal ethic to live in public. And that when you live in private, you're robbing people of other knowledge, in a way. And that's different. That's so different from how I think people think. So this idea of needing to be in public, what I tell newspapers and so on is that if you're not searchable, you will not be found. So putting things behind the paywall. This discussion right now in newspapers is driving me batty. They're talking again about doing micropayments and charging. And they don't get the cost that they're incurring. They have marketing cost to sell a product. They lose audience, but they also lose Google juice. They lose that ability to reach people, and I think that's so important. So this idea of publicness, I think, is important for what you do. Elegant organization. I get accused by one review of name dropping too much. It's true. What I actually do is place drop too much. I mentioned going to Davos too often. At Davos 2 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg was talking to the assembled media people. And it was off the record, but Mark said it was okay to quote him, so I quote him by name. I don't quote the publisher or magnate of a certain large newspaper where I live on the other coast that has a brand new building that's having problems right now. Is begging Zuckerberg, just begging, and saying, Mark, how do we get a community like you have? We should be building a community. We should build a community. How do we do this? Mark, tell us, how do we do this? It was embarrassing. And after hearing this impassioned plea from one of the most powerful men on earth, Zuck, being Zuck, just said, you can't. Full stop, geeky stare, right? And he went on later, though, and he said, you're asking the wrong question. You don't create communities. Communities already exist. Communities are already doing what they want to do without you. The question you should be asking media moguls is, how do you help them do what they want to do better? And his prescription is that you bring them elegant organization. I love that, and it's so key to what Google is. And it's so key that what most any company has wanted to be in the past is to provide organizing principles for your life or society or government or business or whatever. So this idea of elegant organization, and if other companies thought that too were their mission, whatever it is, if you're a newspaper and you help a community organize its knowledge to govern itself better, if you're H&R Block and you're helping people organize their knowledge about taxes, that notion of organization that is so critical to what Google does, I don't think is out there enough. I mentioned this briefly, but the idea too is that all of business was based on the idea of scarcity. I control it, you don't, yeah. That lets me set the price, lets me set the conditions, lets me be in charge. And you don't do that. The reflex that I always hear from Google is more. When I worked at Condé Nast for years, Google folks came to me and said, would you just put all your archives online, you'll make more money. I know, you're right, but publishers will never agree to it. And Google's constant reflex, as you well know, is give us more stuff to organize. And indeed, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that search does create scarcities, right? There's only so many people who search on a word a day. But the reflex of Google to then create AdSense, to create more opportunities to advertise around, because you weren't selling scarcity, you were selling performance. You're selling relevance. That's different. That's fundamentally different from how we look at things. So you already know about open source economy, you know about the massive niches, but now, I mentioned this before, I think that indeed Google does commodify things. That when you come to look for information, you don't necessarily know where you got it. It's all kind of the same. That we users are all kind of the same. And that's the problem of this level playing field. And that's what we get accused on the internet of doing, is creating this sameness. Well, there I'll stop though and disagree and say that no, the way you stand out then in the commodified world is by doing something special, doing it especially well. And doing the same stuff everybody else does, it doesn't get you anywhere anymore. You're then nowhere in Google search. You're only...
Možná tady bych to skončil a jakoby ten třeba závěr, nebo ne závěr, ale jakoby prostě novinka pro mě třeba byla ten pohled, že vlastně Google se snaží investovat co nejvíc do toho, aby prostě vzniklo víc webů, víc obsahu, víc všeho. A samozřejmě, což je jakoby pro něj jako zdroj my třeba nepoužíváme sice AdSense, ale možná jednou budeme, jo, používáme AdWords. Jako čím víc obsahu na tom internetu je, který má nějakou hodnotu a oni jsou schopni zaindexovat a zpracovat, tak tím mají větší výhodu proti těm prostě starým firmám typu Yahoo, kteří si myslí, že ten obsah je potřeba si sami vyrobit, zamknout a prodávat po kouscích. Jo. Vlastně podstatně otevřenější ten systém a oni ten systém podporují tím, že mu dávají nástroje, aby mohl vznikat prostě ten obsah, který je pro ostatní užitečný. Jo. To je jakoby ohromná síla, si myslím. Je taková jako jedna z věcí. Samozřejmě ta kniha nemluví jakoby jenom o tom, jak Google funguje jako takový. Žádný si jakoby není insider, ale je člověk mimo Google. A spíš, co je na tom zajímavé, na to není jakoby teď prostor, je, že hodně mluví o tom, jak by třeba, kdyby Google měl automobilku, tak jak by vypadala oproti současným automobilkám, jo? Nebo kdyby provozoval prostě noviny, jo? A nedělal jenom ten indexing, tak jak by to vypadalo. Jo? Takže se snaží jakoby si klást otázku, jak by to prostě vyřešil Google, protože je založený na jiných principech, než si schraňovat prostě intellectual property a tak dále, ale dávat to jakoby ven a profitovat na tom z jiné strany vlastně. Tak druhá ukázka je hodně z jiného soudku. Ta knížka se jmenuje Predictably Irrational, což znamená vlastně předpokládatelně iracionální, kde Dan Ariely je zase výborný řečník a existuje tady tohle video, že stojí za zhlédnutí a spousta dalších, tak vlastně tvrdí, že spoustu věcí, které na první pohled se nám zdají prostě totálně neracionální, tak se dají vysvětlit a odhadnout a lidi se chovají opakovatelně prostě stejně neracionálně a má spoustu fakt nádherných příkladů. A tady tenhle mi přišel, že je hrozně důležitý, co se týká designu aplikace, nebo aspoň z mého pohledu a z mých zkušeností, kdy ti návrháři, jako návrháři se často snažíme dát uživateli co nejvíc možnost si vybrat. Když v okamžiku, kdy nevíme, jestli udělat A nebo B, tak mu tam dáme checkbox, aby si vybral buď A nebo B. A samozřejmě pokud to děláme často, tak je to hrozný jakoby mes. A takový závěr jakoby jinačí, nebo jakoby jiných lidí je, že vlastně každá option v aplikaci znamená, že ten člověk, který to designoval, se nezamyslel, jestli to má být A nebo B a vykašlal se na to rozhodnutí a nechává to na uživateli a je to špatně. A tohle je, uvidíte sami spíš takový jako kouzelný příklad o tom, jak jako je strašně důležité podobné věci nedělat.
The opportunity to write something else. If you really want to do it, you have to do it. Our intuition is really fooling. Not have an easy way to see them, because in visual illusions we can easily demonstrate the mistakes. In cognitive illusion it's much harder to demonstrate to people the mistakes. So I want to show you some cognitive illusion or decision-making illusion in the same way. This is one of my favorite plots in social sciences. It's from a paper by Johnson Goldstein, and it basically shows the percentage of people who indicate that they would be interested in giving their organs to donation. And these are different countries in Europe, and you basically see two types of countries. Countries on the right that seems to be giving a lot, and countries on the left that seems to be giving very little or much less. The question is why? Why do some countries give a lot and some countries give a little? When you ask people this question, they usually think that it has to be something about culture. Right? How much do you care about people? Giving your organs to somebody else is probably about how much you care about society, how linked you are. Or maybe it is about religion. But if you look at this plot, you could see that countries that we think about as very similar actually exhibit very different behavior. For example, Sweden is all the way on the right, and Denmark, that we think is culturally very similar, is all the way on the left. Germany is on the left, and Austria is on the right. The Netherlands is on the left, and Belgium is on the right. And finally, depending on your particular version of European similarity, you can think about the UK and France as either similar culturally or not. But it turns out that from organ donation, they're very different. By the way, the Netherlands is an interesting story. You see, the Netherlands is kind of the biggest of the small group. And turns out that they got to 28% after mailing every household in the country a letter begging people to join this organ donation program. Right, so you know the expression, begging only gets you so far? It's 28% in organ donation. But whatever the countries on the right are doing, they're doing a much better job than begging. So what are they doing? Turns out the secret has to do with the form at the DMV. And here's the story. The countries on the left have a form at the DMV that looks something like this. Check the box below if you want to participate in the organ donor program. And what happens? People don't check and they don't join. The countries on the right, the ones that give a lot, have a slightly different form. It says check the box below if you don't want to participate. Interestingly enough, when people get this, they again don't check, but now they join the program. Now, think about what this means. You know, we wake up in the morning and we feel we make decisions. We wake up in the morning and we open the closet and we feel that we decide what to wear, and we open the refrigerator and we feel that we decide what to eat. And what this is actually saying that much of these decisions are not residing within us. They're residing by the person who's designing that form. When you walk into the DMV, the person who designed the form will have a huge influence on what you'll end up doing. Now, it's also very hard to intuit these results. Think about it for yourself. How many of you believe that if you went to renew your license tomorrow and you went to the DMV and you would encounter one of these forms, that would actually change your own behavior? Very, very hard to think it will influence us, right? You can say, oh, these funny Europeans, of course it would influence them, but when it comes to us, we have such a feeling that we're in the driver's seat, we have such a feeling that we're in control and we are making the decision, that it's very hard to even accept the idea that we actually have an illusion of making a decision rather than actual decision. Now, you might say, you know, these are decisions we don't care about. In fact, by definition, these are decisions about something that will happen to us after we die. How could we care about something less than something that happens after we die? So a standard economist, somebody who believes in rationality, would say, you know what? The cost of lifting the pencil and marking a V is higher than the possible benefit of the decision, so that's why we get this effect. But in fact, it's not because it's easy, it's not because it's trivial, it's not because we don't care, it's the opposite. It's because we care, it's difficult, and it's complex, and it's so complex that we don't know what to do. And because we have no idea what to do, we just pick whatever it was chosen for us. I'll give you one more example for this. This is from a paper by Redelman and Shafir. And they said, you know, would this effect also happens to experts? People who are well paid.
Pokračuje dál, ale jako ta sdělení je prostě strašně silné, jako lidi nechtějí o ničem rozhodovat. Takže pokud je jakoby možnost všechno v aplikaci udělat tak, aby nad tím nikdo nemusel přemýšlet, nic neměnit, ten nejdůležitější case pokrýt a zbytek možná někde bokem, tak prostě to je jako strašně důležité si uvědomit. Prostě lidi nechtějí dělat rozhodnutí a když je donutíte je udělat, tak to udělají jako přesně opačným směrem, než chcete vy. Většinou to bude to nejjednodušší, že to nechtějí, že si to nevyberou a tak dále. Takže přišlo mi to hrozně zajímavé. A na závěr, jako největší showman, kdo zná Guya Kawasakiho? No, to je super, tak to bude třeba taky nadšení, protože kromě toho, že to je vynikající řečník, tak jeho knížka Reality Check, pokud třeba se zajímáte o startupy, nebo byste chtěli něco zkusit, tak je úplně úžasná kuchařka plná praktických rád. On se s ničím nemaže, moc si nabere servítky, poměrně jakoby drsný, ale jakoby fakt člověk, který dokáže nadchnout. A ta poslední ukázka de facto je o tom nenechat se odradit, protože když přijdete s čímkoliv novým, tak se najde strašná spousta lidí, která vám bude říkat, že to nebude fungovat. Jo? I když třeba nakonec ta odezva jako je dobrá, pozitivní, tak i my třeba, já beru, že zatím jsme nepřekonali nějakou kritickou masu a jestli ten projekt jakoby tady bude za další 3 roky, tak to jako si netroufnu tvrdit. A i když jsme měli úspěchy, tak prostě se setkáváme jako každý druhý den s tím, že někdo řekne, ne, to nebude nikdy fungovat. Jo. Takže tohle je taková motivační ukázka na to nenechat se odradit.
So, as an entrepreneur, if you focus on CMO level people, CXO level people, you'll be dealing with the dumbest people. Look at tech support, secretary, administrative aides. Those people really do the work. They really are the key influencers. Find those people. And my 11th point, and I'm really going to go over time, I'm giving you a bonus to my friends in Thai. This is the 11th point. Don't let the bozos grind you down. They're going to try to grind you down. They're going to tell you it can't work, won't work. We don't need another search engine to Google. We don't need another search engine. Who thought we needed another search engine in 1995? I didn't. Don't let these bozos grind you down. There are 2 kinds of bozos. Slovenly, disgusting, stinky, nerdy, dandruff-covered loser of a person. That bozo says you can't succeed. It's easy to ignore that bozo. You look at that bozo and you say, why should I believe you? You're a loser. That's not the dangerous bozo. The dangerous bozo is skinny, dresses in black, drives a German car, Breitling watch, plays ice hockey, Macintosh PowerBook. You know, that's the dangerous bozo. That's the dangerous bozo. Because when that bozo tells you that you can't succeed, won't succeed, it's not necessary, you might be tempted to believe that bozo. Let me give you some documented bozosity to show you how dangerous bozosity is. I think there's a world market for maybe 5 computers. Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM, allegedly said this in 1943. 5 computers in the world. I have 5 computers in my house. I have all the computers Thomas Watson anticipated. This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. Western Union, Internal Memo, 1876. What was Western Union going to do in 1877? Train everybody on the Morse code? But telephony had too many shortcomings. Western Union should be PayPal today. But how can you be PayPal today if you wrote off telephony? They wrote off telephony. There's no reason why anybody would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, founder of DEX, did this in 1977. How many have a computer in your house? I don't know why. Why don't you just drive down to the office and use Quicken on a mini computer? And then my final bozosity is my own bozosity. It's too far to drive, and I don't see how it can be a business. I said this to Michael Moritz from Sequoia Capital when he asked me, would you like to interview for the position of CEO of Yahoo? I told him this. At the time, my wife and I were married. Oh, obviously we're married, that's why she was my wife. My wife and I were living in San Francisco. We had 1 child, my son. My second son was in beta, in other words, she was pregnant. And I didn't want to drive from San Francisco to Menlo Park every day. It was like an hour each way. And I looked at what they were doing. It was a collection of Jerry Yang and David Filo's favorite websites. How can that be a business? Unproven team, unproven technology, unproven business model. Besides that, it was great. So I said this. Now, let's suppose I didn't say this. Let's suppose I took the interview. Let's further suppose I got the CEO job. Then let's be conservative. Let's say that I lasted only 2 years of a 4-year vesting period. Peter Principle kicked its ass, kicked my ass. 2 years into it, the board says, you know, guy, you've done a great job, but we now need real adult supervision. We need someone from New York or Los Angeles who's worked with big media, who can take Yahoo to the next step. So we're firing you today. And I would have said, you know, I hope you understand, I'm not a bitter, litigious person, but I am Asian American. You cannot fire me. Right? You try to fire me. It's just like pulling me off stage. You try. Let me ask you something. If Schwarzenegger went 8 minutes over, would you pull him off stage?
Absolutely.
And I guarantee I'm giving them more information than Schwarzenegger did. So. Okay, so now They try to fire me, I tell them you can't fire me, this is California, I'm Asian American, you piss me off, there'll be little Japanese ladies picketing in front of Yahoo's office. So now they go into executive session. They come back and they say, all right, guy, you're right, you know, let's not make this a big brouhaha, legal battle. What do you want? I'd say, well, I'm 2 years into my investing, just give me 4 years investing and I'll walk away happy. By my calculation, this answer cost me $2 billion. Now, you know, 2 billion here, 2 billion there, after a while you don't need to work anymore, right? If I had done this today, I would own the San Jose Sharks. I would own the San Jose Sharks. So, I've been thinking about this for 10 years now. Why was I so stupid? And I'm thinking about it, and thinking about it, and I've come to this conclusion. I did the right thing for the love of my wife, for being there when my 2 boys are growing up. Now I have 4 children, to be there. Not working 80 hours a week, not commuting 2 hours a day. I did the right thing for my family. Right. This explains 1 billion. It's the 2nd billion that pisses me off. Pardon all my French today. It's the 2nd billion. The 2nd billion because I was a bozo. I could not see. I had Ken Olsen disease. Ken Olsen. I don't know, he's really getting angry. Ken Olsen. What are you, Democrat? Ken Olsen. Ken Olsen couldn't see the next curve. I thought that Yahoo was part of the personal computer curve, not the next curve, the internet. I too was a bozo. Don't let the bozos go. They're really. Now it's 2 on 1. All right, so this is really my last slide. If you want more information like this, I have a blog, blog.guykawasaki.com. If you want a copy of this presentation, it's Gene@garage.com. Just send her an email, we'll send you a PDF. If you can't open the PDF and you're on Windows, tough luck. And finally, my stock photography was my buddies from Calgary, I Stock Photo, and I'm obviously being pulled off. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Jako doporučuju vřele. To je všechno.
Máte ještě na Miloši někdo dotazy?
Tak, ještě dotazy.
Já bych chtěl zeptat, jak to vlastně vypadá teďka s tím projektem nejremeslnici, kolik tam je asi zaregistrovaných lidí, nebo případně těch řemeslníků?
Je asi 700 řemeslníků, asi 100, a teďka jako jsme začali hodně jít jakoby po těch firmách, no, aby se registrovali, takže třeba poslední dny